Thor called in 30 million volunteers, and he provided an avalanche, an ethereal ship of fire, in which they embarked for the Red Star, the Earth, where they would remain 4 years 238 days, which was called the Dawn of Dan, for Thor, of Donga. Then onward, through Etheria sped Thor and his 30 millions. Through the swamps of Oahspe, and the fields of Oahspe, through the ethereal seas of Hisonia toward the Ark of Mos, and then to Chinvid, the boundary of the earth's vortex. Nor did he halt here, but sped onward in his ship of fire for Gao, the throne of God. God and his lords, being apprised of Thor's coming, had the capital prepared for his reception. And they also had gathered in all the angels of the second resurrection, and as many of the first as chose to come. In all, there were assembled in Gao 900 million angels, Fathus and Jehovah. Of these, no more than 1 million had ever seen an etherean, nor had they visited farther outward from the earth than the 7th plateau in Atmospheria. Among these angels, even into the heavenly capital of Gao, alighted Thor and his 30 millions. And after due salutations in the manner of gods and goddesses, a day of recreation was proclaimed from the throne of God, and the Atmospherians and Etherians mingled together joyfully. Then Thor ascended on the throne of God, and he ordained as follows: 1 million constables to go to the false lords and false gods and arrest them, and bring them to Gao for judgment. 1 million captors to possess the thrones and temples of the false lords and false gods, and hold them. 8 million captors to gather in the angels' slaves in all the Haden heavens. 6 million dispersers to overthrow and disperse the hells, heavenly battlefields of spirits in chaos. 6 million physicians to disrupt fetals from mortals. 2 million founders of SU nurseries, for the spirits of infants and helpless ones, born into heaven before their full time. 1 million founders of hospitals, for chaotic angels and others stricken with disease. 500,000 marshals, 500,000 messengers, and 3 million builders. And when these Etherian volunteers had been selected by the proper officers, they were dispatched to their places and duties. Then Thor reorganized the Council of Gao for the period of dawn. So God and his lords rested for a season, while Thor and his hosts delivered earth and her heavens. In 1 year all the false lords and false gods and goddesses were captured and brought to Gao, nor did Thor pass judgment upon them until they were all brought in. And on this occasion, millions of angels were assembled in Gao to witness the proceedings. Thor said to them, the false lords, and false gods and goddesses, do you not perceive that my power is greater than yours? How can that be? I have only 30 million, and of you there are more than 30 billion. What makes me more powerful? Behold, I have arrested all your heavens and heavenly rulers. How is this? Where did my power come from? Not one could answer Thor. Then Thor said, my army is a unit. Yours are divided, one against another. Yes, each one was in anarchy. This I, Thor, declare to you. Jehovah first of all, and his creations, which he has given to all his creatures. To learn to master the elements of earth and heaven, this is the foundation for acquiring all power. Because you false lords and false gods and goddesses bound yourselves in heavenly places on the earth, you did not rise up to the places prepared for you. Answer me now. How does the world stand as to what will come? Yes, what is the condition, rank, grade, of the earth in reference to that which is coming? Many of the false lords and false gods answered in the following manner. I fear to speak my mind, lest in anger you cast me in hell. Thor said, he who has learned to know Jehovah and serve him, fears nothing on earth or in heaven. Fear is nothing but the manifestation of weakness. Speak, therefore, what you of false usurped authority desire, no harm shall come to you. Then many of them of the false lords and false gods and goddesses said, this I perceive, O God Thor. Out there lie the earth and many heavens. The strongest mortals rule over the weaker mortals. The strongest gods rule over the weaker gods. Therefore, make me your slave. I am content. Then Thor said, a greater hardship I give to you, all of false usurped authority. I give you your liberty and freedom. Go, therefore, wherever you desire. I ask not one to serve me, but instead I say, go serve Jehovah by lifting up whoever is beneath you. They, the false lords and false gods and goddesses, answered, where shall we go? We do not know the way from one heaven to another, nor the way down to the earth. You, O Thor, say, go serve Jehovah by lifting up those who are beneath us. Now, truly, we cannot even lift up ourselves. If we had great riches, or power, or wisdom, then we would willingly assist those beneath us. Thor said, truly you are gods of darkness. I, Thor, say to you, do not wait for any of these things, but go at once and serve Jehovah. They, the false lords and false gods and goddesses, answered, when we have first provided a way for ourselves, then we will serve him. Thor said, you false lords and false gods and goddesses have spoken the darkness of the entire world. I say to you, go serve Jehovah first, and after that come to me, so I may see if you lack anything. They, the false lords and false gods and goddesses, answered, how can one serve Jehovah by lifting others up, if he has no clothes, or food, or habitation? How can one proceed without resources, the wherewithal, to induce others upward? Thor said, it is well you ask that question, but I say, direct that question to your own souls, and, behold, the Father, Jehovah, will answer you. Let that be the question you ask yourselves every hour of the day, and be watchful for an opportunity to answer it by the labor of your own hands. Then the false gods and false lords were dismissed from custody. Thor commanded that the light of the throne and the pillars of heavenly fire be raised to a higher grade. The false lords and false gods desired to flee because of the brilliancy of the light, but did not know where to go. Thor said to them, the false lords and false gods and goddesses, why have you assumed to be lords and gods, since you cannot even master the elements in the lower heavens? I, Thor, say to you, the regions of Jehovah's universe are boundless. Let no one assume to do that which he cannot do, but, little by little, learn to master the elements surrounding him, and he will, in time, learn to traverse Jehovah's beautiful firmament, and indeed be a fit companion for gods and goddesses. Then the false lords and false gods spoke, saying, oh, if only we had someone to teach us, someone to show us the way to learn. Then Thor, perceiving they, the false lords and false gods, were in proper disposition for resurrection, allotted certain teachers and disciplinarians to them, and they were taken into educational colonies and put to work.